Good morning from Paul Levy from Fringe Review, and this short video contains some practical advice for companies that are new to the Edinburgh Fringe. So you're going up for the first time, and I'm recording this in May, actually in the heart of Brighton Fringe down on the south coast of the UK. And the Fringe Review inbox is already filling up. Of course, it's full with shows from Brighton Fringe that are playing, but also lots of other Fringe festivals. But the focus, particularly here on the Edinburgh Fringe, is that we're talking over 3,500 shows, I think. It's always up in that ballpark. So there are a lot of other shows alongside you, and the inbox is starting to fill up with Edinburgh Fringe shows. And if it surprises you that that's been happening since last September, then you need to get your act together, literally, at least in terms of informing reviewers and the media about your show. But the thing to notice is that a show that's up for the first time isn't necessarily known, particularly amongst the Edinburgh media and people, and there are a lot of them that tend to focus their reviewing on the Edinburgh Fringe. It may well be that if you're a publication like Fringe Review, we also review in London, for example, and so we may have already heard of you. But quite a lot of our reviewers are unique to the Edinburgh Fringe and aren't necessarily down, say, in London or other cities. So if you just put in an email now that says we have a new show, it just sits alongside literally hundreds of other shows. And we haven't heard of you. So why is somebody going to prioritise your company just because you have a show? So I think this earlier email, whenever you send it, but I would say start sending it now, and if you're watching this later, maybe it's a lesson for next year if you're back at the Fringe or going to other Fringe festivals, is tell us about the company and the reason why you're taking your show specifically to Edinburgh. So as far as the Edinburgh Fringe is known, you're a new company, even if you're well established elsewhere. So definitely tell us a bit. It only needs to be a paragraph, and it certainly needs to link through to the relevant places on your website if you have one. That we are a new company, this is the kind of theatre we're making, this is why we're coming to the Fringe, and it could be on the back of, say, winning awards elsewhere, or it could be that you've just decided now that you want to run for longer, or that you want to be at the world's largest arts festival so that people that only go there can see your work. So just give a reason, say why you're going to the Edinburgh Fringe, tell us what kind of company are you. We're a physical theatre company, we are a Gaulier clown trained company, we focus on verbatim theatre. We particularly are unique in some way, and that's if you're an improv troupe, for example. There are literally hundreds of improv troupes. What's unique about your company? And it can be as simple also as, you know, we're coming up from Plymouth and we are the only award-winning company in Plymouth that does improvisation. Or it might be that your company has some history, that we were founded 30 years ago, and you might be able to drop in the name of famous people, established directors, say awards that you've won that go back quite a bit of time. If you're a brand new company, then I think you also need to get excited about the little origin story of why you formed. And I have said before, I wouldn't call yourselves a student company, I'd call yourself an emerging new company, a young company, bringing new work. So that's the key thing here, is that the email that comes several months before shouldn't just foreground headline that you have a show. What makes you unique and what will make somebody sit forward is that you are a new kid on the block, that you are a new company, and that is something that might draw our attention. And then when other emails come, you can refer back to the email where you introduced yourself as a new company, and you can talk then more about how the show's developing, what the show is about. Now, it's not that you don't mention your show, absolutely mention your show, but it's not the main thing, and it won't be the main thing. Some title, some fact that it's groundbreaking, or it's a new piece of writing, that at this stage isn't the thing that's going to make any reviewer lean into that email. So let's have a dear and the name of the reviewer or the media, whoever it is, and then the first paragraph is that we are, and something about your company, bringing a show, and then you can talk about your show. and I think that makes the difference. Now, it's unlikely that a lot of reviewers, on the basis of just what company you are going to put that straight into their review schedules. But when further information comes, maybe you've done your run elsewhere, maybe you've previewed it, maybe you've got some new reviews, then there might be the subliminal memory of, oh, it's that company, I seem to have heard of them before. And I think that's why also, if you're a company, that origin story, where you're based, any history, what we sometimes might call the provenance of the company, becomes all important. So this is a bit of a plea from me too, because the emails are coming in, we have a show, isn't really making me lean in. More about your company certainly has a much better chance of doing so.